Hey everybody, Nick here. Welcome back to the channel. First video back in Brazil. So we all know in this life that we have no choice but to work and make the paper, okay? That's a given. Otherwise you starve or become homeless or whatever. That's the consequences of not working. Now, I did a video talking about how many days off you get in a week and whatnot. But I wanted to shift gears and kind of talk about more time that you get off, depending on the job that you do. Not everyone is fortunate to have a well-paying job. Not everyone is fortunate enough to get bonuses and lots of vacation time and lots of sick days and all these things. But what I wanted to talk about in this one is vacation time, or as they call it in the UK, holiday, or the holidays, taking a holiday. But yeah, so not everyone really gets time off, and like to go away or have 2 weeks or a month. Like when I was doing my job a few years back, the 9-to-5 job, I had to wait a year when I got the new job in order to take time off, like a vacation. Which is kind of silly in my opinion. I think, try to do 6 months or maybe try to be flexible, but they don't care about you anyway. We know that. But so yes, I had to wait a year, and actually more than that, because with this company, and I'm sure this is the same with most companies, you have to give them ample time. Like you got to book ahead so they can fill someone in your place and all this nonsense. So I remember I had to book well in advance, and sometimes they would say we can't guarantee that you get the time off, which is stupid, because what happens if you want to book a flight, or you want to book your reservation if you want to go away, if you've got the money to go away, which not many people really do. I barely did, but they would sort of give me a small little vacation package, but it wasn't enough to pay for everything, not even half. But whatever. So it's like no guarantees you have to give them time, even so that screws up your plans of like booking a flight, an affordable flight, rather than last minute flights, which are always expensive, especially if you want to go away in the winter time. And coming from Canada, flights are expensive no matter where you're going because of the distance. US is a little bit better, but it was always a hassle trying to book time off. And think of it this way, you get vacation, you have a little bit of time, and most jobs it's like you have 2 weeks off, which is nothing for the whole year. 2 weeks off for the whole year. Is that really enough to sort of decompress and get rid of the stress that's going on in your life? I don't think so. I think it's too little of a time to take off. And then where can you go? I mean, you could go to the Caribbean, which most Canadians do in the wintertime. They usually stay for about a week. And I'm just thinking, they go there to drink, which doesn't really help you unwind. I mean, temporarily it does, but then the stress builds up and you're thinking, I got to go back to work soon, unless you stay there for 2 weeks. But even then, I think about it and I'm like, I did go away for 2 weeks and it flew by. And I was just dreading the day that I had to go. In fact, it wasn't even 2 weeks, it was less, because you had to have the travel day to come back. But I was always dreading having to go back to work. I'm like, God, I gotta face all this over again. Why can't I have a month off like most people with their jobs, because I think certain countries it starts with a month. Canada, it doesn't, depending on your job. 2 weeks off, are you kidding me? So 1 month would be reasonable. I think most of Europe gives you a month off. I know at least Portugal does, France, Spain, I think the UK too. And think about this: if you're not making that much money, you're really not going anywhere. So you can get your time off, your 2 weeks or whatever it is you get, and you're basically just home, or home basically. Like you can't really go anywhere. I mean, if you're on a tight budget or a fixed income budget, you're not going to be spending money to go really anywhere. That's just the way it is these days. Sure, okay, there's some people who make good money, get a lot of time off, can, spend whatever they want on an flight or wherever they're going. That's just lucky them. But guess what? They faced all the stress all year round to get to that point and then gone. You can't really win. There's no win scenario. This is all part of the trap of this system. Work to have a little bit of time off that you're going to spend money, unless you're lucky enough to get a bonus or a holiday package or whatever, or they pay for your vacation, which most companies I'm sure do not. It's all real stupid and unfair, and that's why a lot of people are stressed to the max. They don't have enough time to unwind. They don't have enough time to go away and without the worry about, I can't spend this, I can't spend that, I can only go for this long. What am I supposed to do? No, I can't go. We can't go anywhere. Let's do a staycation. So you stay home. All you're gonna do is what? Chores, things that you have to do around the house, some shopping, or other work that maybe you're side hustling. So you're gonna have more time to do the side hustle. I don't know. It's to me it's ridiculous. A lot of people won't see this because they're just so used to the system and this is the way it is and that's how it's always been. I don't care. I'm going against the grain. I'm not following along with this crap. Sure, I don't have a 9-to-5 job anymore. I can sort of do whatever I want, but I have to still budget. I still have to plan trips or whatever. I can't just go anywhere I want, whenever I want. I have to plan a little bit. And traveling is still really expensive, no matter if you're making, $100,000 or less. It's still expensive. And so I think people don't see that it's unfair. They just go with it. Everyone's just tired and stressed and they don't know what to do. I think the only thing you can do is try to make as much money as you can. You gotta have the fuck you money. I say this in other videos. Find a way. Not everyone's gonna be able to find a way. But vacations and all these things, it's really a luxury. And very few people can do it. And then think of it this way, you travel somewhere, if you're easily stressed by other tourists or stupid things that happen in a particular country, you're not going to even really be able to unwind then either. You're going to be stressed with whatever the surroundings are. That's why a lot of people choose to go to a beach and just sit there and drink and get drunk and get sun. That's it. Especially in the dead of winter. I can understand that. But again, not everyone is able to take vacation. So think about that. You work all year, you're getting paid very little, and you're seeing all these other people go away. And it's just you have to stay back during winter time in the cold, depending on where you are in the world. But I'm thinking of Canada in January, February, or the US, northern part of the United States. And it's just terrible. I think everyone needs to get away. If you're going to be working, you should get at least a paid vacation somewhere. I think that should be the minimum. I think everyone should have a paid vacation. It doesn't come out of your pocket. You just go, even if it's a week. If it's paid, you just go. Let's say it's Dominican Republic or somewhere in the Caribbean, if you like that sort of thing. Not everyone does. If you want to go to Europe or whatever, but you won't have much time because a week is, depending on where you are and the travel time and all that stuff, you lose a day, traveling to and then from. So I don't know. I just think that everyone needs to have some time to get away from their job. That's just obvious, And I know a lot of you guys are gonna, resonate with this. You're gonna resonate with this, and you'll remember the vacations you took, and you're just I spent this amount of money. It wasn't really worth it. I came back, and I was still stressed, and I went back to work. That's how I felt sometimes. Most of my vacations that I took, it was just so much moving around and agitation, and you come back and you feel like you never really relaxed. So I think when it comes to staycation, if you can find something relaxing to do, or if you can go somewhere around close by that's relaxing and not going to cost you much, okay, then maybe it's all right to not go away somewhere. But you need to find a point or a place to relax, to center yourself, to forget about the job that you're working at and this and that. Otherwise, you know, like I mentioned in other videos I've done, people will just be so overwhelmed with stress, and it's just getting to people, and it already is happening. This is why I say you must have a free vacation, something to get away, relax, and calm down, because society is just really revved up, and this is not how we're supposed to be living. It really isn't. Again, vacations are kind of, you know, overrated, because whenever I think of them, I'm like, you gotta slave all this time to get it. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy how we accept this system in this life, and we work our lives away. And for what? For a few weeks off a year, or whatever it is, a month tops. It's insane. And obviously there's the people who are at the very top who get like as much as they want, and they can take it whenever they want. They work on holidays during their vacation or whatever. But not everyone's so fortunate. I mean, even that person is going to go through stress, because he's not even on vacation. He's still working when he's on vacation. You see it in a lot of movies and things like that. They bring their laptop with them, and it's like stupid. You're a slave too, you know. It doesn't matter if you're making $200,000 as well. You're still a slave as well, like the rest of us. You just get more money for it. Anyway, I mean, if we were getting good money like that, okay, but still, you're somebody. You have to work for somebody in order to pay for life. You got to pay for things through the job. It's crazy. And before you know it, we're all old and we can't do much anymore. So anyways, I just thought I'd talk about vacations or holidays if you're British. Add anything if I forgot something that I didn't think of during this video, but let me know about your vacations. Did you always enjoy them? Did you have to pay, and did it cost you a lot? And do you think I'm wrong in what I say? But anyway, as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video very soon. Bye for now.